So let's close, rest all the things from the previous class. Let's create module 14, which is add new folder, module 14. Control Shift F, global search if any main method is active. And we'll close that main method. Okay. Yeah, fine. It is there. No main methods are there now. Let's close all. Create new class. Module 14.cs. Yes, okay. So now using system. So system is a namespace basically. So system will have multiple packages like threading, for example. If you want to use multi-threading, system dot data for buffers for data, collections for the next module again. For if you want to draw something, you can draw. If you want to get the link, IO operations, input output, like file reading and file writing, security, threading, text, transactions, Windows related things. .Net means I want to connect to the internet. You got it? That is system namespace, which is the base package for all the almost many libraries, like many packages or many namespaces in the .NET. So if you are using system means inside system we have many. It's nothing but a system is a namespace that is having n number of the namespaces, which is having data, configuration, diagnosis, collections, right? Everything. So system is the global for all the IO operations and threading, multi-threading, internet, coding, uh, you know, drawing some, icons and everything in the Windows applications, everything, multi-threading, timers, transactions, security, everything will be there in the system. So only the thing is based on the usage, we will be using that. So we will be using in the next module where system might having collections generic and all, we'll be using in the next modules as a part of collections module. So that is the introduction I just want to give. But it's a namespace, global namespace, right, where you can able to see all these things. I will mention this hierarchy in the material also so that you can see. And also using this system only, we have the cross-platform development also. Go to dependencies. If you see dependencies, right, C#, code generation, source code generation, system text. So if you see here, all the system related, see, first is the system. Inside system, we have console, configuration, data, core, data.com and data.contracts, collections. Again, in collections, we have all this, right? Again, in system, we have drawing, IO, comparison. From where all this we are getting? Because we already references this framework, Microsoft .NET Core. Why .NET Core? .NET Core is platform independent. You can run this in Mac, you can run this in Linux also, but .NET standard is platform dependent. Now we are using .NET Core. So now I will tell you why the .NET Core is important to run C#. Because in the olden days itself, we don't know the C# as a language, but we know the .NET as a technology. You got it? Inside .NET, C# will run. That's why it will always run the .NET application. Inside that, it will run the C#. See, inside the .NET Core app, we have C#. Now the thing is, C# is depending on .NET standard. If you want to run your applications, you want to install .NET. But now you are using .NET Core, means it should be cross-platform, platform independent kada. So that's why you need to use .NET Core. If you use .NET Standard, that will be applicable for only Windows. Then you don't see here .NET Core. Core is multi-platform development .NET, which is released 7 to 8 years back. From there, .NET increasing like anything because it is faster than Java. You got it? So that is where C# alone ga run avadu. Edi mana applications lo, it will be depending on .NET Core for the multi-platform development. Let's start with this object class. Let's start with object class. So now I have a class called, I think inside we need to write, right? Class person. Okay. We have public string name, we have ID, and also create first name. Okay. So now the thing is, let's create person O equal to new person, means we created a constructor for that, right? We will put set and get name equal to Sagar, O dot full name equal to, after that we will ID, right? ID equal to 1. So let it be. So now the thing is, if I do console dot write line O dot toString, so what it will get, can anyone guess? It will not give you all this as a string, but from where it is coming also I will tell you. See, it is coming that particular class name dot person, means the toString it will get the namespace and that particular sub namespace and the class name. You got it? See, we have this particular namespace. Inside that we have a person. That is what it's mentioning. But from where it is getting the toString? You got it? Go to implementation. Or go to definition. See, the thing is, it is from object class. You got it? It is from object class. This is from object class. So basically, it will represent the current object in the system namespace, that is the object class. Now tell me, in system namespace only we have object class. Object class will get the namespace name. But you see, it's a virtual. You see, it's a virtual. If you want to write your own toString, what you want to do? You can override public override, because from where we are getting that also I will tell you. I will return what? I will return all this. Name dot, again, first name, ID, I'm writing something, right? So now tell me, if you do this now, what will happen? It will, it will give this. You got my point? So whatever you overrided the existing toString object. Now tell me how you can override that without inheriting. You got my point, everyone? But the thing is, you don't need to override the object class. Object class is an inbuilt one. Object class is an inbuilt one, because every object what you create, that will be the child of the object class. Means internally that particular object class is internally the parent for all the C# classes. You got my point? So now the next one is internal ga pratidi kuda. So that particular object class is the parent for all the classes which we create objects. Get hash code. What is that hash code? I will tell you. A hash code is nothing but a unique code where that particular object is resided in the memory location. ఈ మెమరీ స్లాట్ లో అది రిసైడ్ అయి ఉంది. దట్ ఈస్ ద హ్యాష్ కోడ్. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ ఇఫ్ ఐ అసైనింగ్ వన్ మోర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ విచ్ ఇస్ O1. కరెక్టేనా? సో నౌ టెల్ మీ object 1 equal to object. Is it correct? Is it will return true or false? Anyone can guess? So the thing is, every object, whatever it is stored in the memory location, that will be allocated with some ID. That IDs are different. You got my point? For example, I will enter the hash code. Hash code will get that particular ID also. See, just put O1.hash code. It is not meant that equal to will not meant it will check all the keys that are equal. No, it will just check whether hash code is equal or not. Means both are same objects or not. Definitely not same. Every object is a different hash key because those are unique objects. అంతే కదా? ఇక్కడ ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసావు, అది యూనిక్, దానికి ఒక మెమరీ లొకేషన్ ఉంది. దట్ మెమరీ లొకేషన్ ఇట్ ఇస్ హ్యావింగ్ సమ్ ఐడి. దట్ ఐడి ఈజ్ ఇన్ యూనిక్. అర్థమైంది కదా? బట్ అగైన్ ఇఫ్ యూ డూ చెక్ దిస్ O1 dot equals, we have equals method, equals of O. So normal double equal to will not compare the values, it will directly compare its memory location. But this object equal to will also compares all the values and its memory locations. This will be also not equal by default. But you will try to get the string now, string S equal to Naveen. Again I will put string S1 equal to Naveen. See, it is true. The thing is, it will able to check the equality based on the value on the single objects, but not the whole object. If you're trying to equal the whole object, it might not be equal. But string, whatever the string you have, that if it is the same value, then it will store in the same memory location. It will store in the same memory location. Means it will point to the same memory, which will be string internal link. That is the concept called string internal link. That is the concept. That is the next concept. But anyway, I just told you the same way. See, if you give two string, right, then definitely it will give two string because it's not an object, right? If it is an object, right, it will get the key value, or if it is, it will getting the namespace. So if we enter the two string, it will directly get that. So basically all the memory locations will have different hash code. You see, I already told you both strings are having the same hash code. Why? Because strings will do internal link to store the same values. If I give different value, then let's check. Definitely it will be stored in the different value where string internal link will check something is not already attached. Accordingly, it will do that operation. String internally, what it will happen? So it will optimize the memory location and it will try to use the same memory location if it is pointing to the same value. Means String literal is nothing but a combination of characters where it will try to get the same memory location and it will copy paste and reference to the same object when it is using multiple string objects but with the same value. So that is string interning or internaling you can say, but yeah, interning is also fine. Now we have member wise clone and finalize. So what is member wise clone and finalize? I will tell you. Now you want to create a copy of the person object without creating new object. New object create చేయకుండా దాన్ని ఇంకొక copy కావాలి. You means I'm just copy pasting the same properties to you also so that I no need to recreate it. Then what I will do, o1 dot get create a 1 second. What is that method name? Member wise clone. Member wise clone. So this member wise clone will create a shallow copy, but you want to externally convert that because అది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కదా ఎవరికి తెలియదు మనకి అది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కాబట్టి పర్సన్ returns a shallow copy cannot access protected member object dot it might be modifier. మేబీ లేటెస్ట్ వర్షన్ లో రిమూవ్ అయిపోయినట్టుంది. In previously it is there member wise clone, but now not sure. Let's try to get this copy. No, it's not there. Let it be. Now we have o2 dot, not o2, o1 dot. Finalize is also protected member. So the thing is here, whenever you are trying to finalize is internally it will called with the garbage collector. Garbage collector ఎప్పుడు కాల్ చేస్తుంది ఇక్కడ. So now you see here this method block. This block is there, right? ఈ block లో how many objects you created? I created one object and two objects. Internally it will call finalize method in the object class. Object class లో ఉన్న finalize method. Let it be. Finalize method we have. Finalize antaru. This finalize method will destroy the memory allocation created for these objects. అది ఎప్పుడు కాల్ అవుతుంది అంటే ఈ బ్లాక్ లో మీరు క్రియేట్ చేసిన ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ whenever this block execution is completed, then it will automatically dereference this memory location. So that is done by the finalize. అది ఎక్కడ ఉంటది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్లాస్ కి రిలేటెడ్ గా ఉంటది and that will be run by the garbage collector. So that is there in the GC. Garbage collector class లో ఉంటది అది garbage collector system.gc. Garbage collector. GC is the garbage collector అనమాట. ఓకేనా? So we cannot do that. గార్బేజ్ కలెక్టర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది మీరు వాడేసిన మొత్తం ప్లేట్లని తినేసిన ప్లేట్లని పారేస్తుంది. You got it? So this object O and object O1 you already used it. Now you are not no longer using above than this కదా. Then garbage collector will do finalize method call and it will destroy all these objects so that memory will be freed up kada. So that is how it will do. Now if you took the math operations, math class, ABS, absolute value. After that we have power to square root 2. So we already know that, but I just want to tell you. We have int age equal to minus 19. I want to print the absolute, or I want to check the difference. Int b equal to 20 into a equal to 10. I want to check the difference, but I don't want to check whether it is greater than or less than that. I want to check the difference. It might be maximum, it might be minimum, right? So now definitely, can I remove system? Let's see what will happen. I want to check math dot ABS off so that I can check the difference. The way I will check, right, it will directly get it. Do console dot write line. I will check the max, math dot ABS absolute value irrespective of the minus or plus signs. It's 10. You see, I minus the A from B, then definitely it will be minus 10, right? If you do A minus B, it will be minus 10. If you give absolute value, it will check the only differences. That is the ABS. Means it will get the absolute value of that. You got it? So now I want to calculate this and I want to give the dynamic string. అప్పుడు ఎలా ఇచ్చు డాలర్ ఇచ్చి డబల్ కోట్స్ ఇచ్చి హియర్ ద వాల్యూ అని ఇచ్చి ఇక్కడ కోలన్ పెట్టి ఈ డబల్ బ్రేసెస్ లో మీరు ఏది ఇస్తారో అది ఆపరేషన్ అన్నమాట. You can dynamic string like this. You can perform dynamic strings like this. అంటే మీరు ప్లేస్ హోల్డర్ you need to put in the braces. That is the dynamic string. You got my point. Here the difference is, you got my point. Difference is 10 absolute value. So ఈ absolute value మనం వాడతాము based on the differences. Now I want to check the power of. For example, I have int base value equal to 10 into exponent equal to 2. 2 times I want to do the power. Then directly I will write power of the value is math dot power of. There are 1, 2, 3. You can able to use it. Base value, comma exponent. It will give you as per the math of power of, and you have square root of also. I have int value equal to 225. 225 we already know it's like 15 15s, right? It will get the square root of that. You see 15. You will have two values into age equal to 10 into age 2 equal to 20. Which is the second person? You will get the maximum value also of that. Console dot write line. Max value of math dot max. These operations you already might know in many of the other programming languages, but just check the same way it will be also. and min also you have. You got it? So the same we will get. So nullable types. Nullable means optional. Nullable means optional. If I give here, you got it? If I give here after data type, then we might not require to give this. It's an optional in the class. Means go to registration portal or something. You see here, you are editing it. Now see assignments, recordings. So batches, materials, assignments, recordings are optional to store this particular data in the table. If you want to create a table, you want to create all the data except all these four which are optional. Additionally, you can add one. If you add it, it is mandatory. You got it? If you add it, then it is mandatory. If you remove it, it's not mandatory. Like it will be optional. You need to put the optional. The same way, when you are creating int age, it will be optional. The same way you can able to create the whole variables as an optional in any class. You can put that. If you are creating a particular class, if you are creating the particular class, that might be optional in order to do the same operation, right? So at that time, we can use the same in all the classes where we no need to give it's mandatorily so that we can avoid that. If you want to make it optional, even in the method also, then you can have to give it, you can have to give that particular type also, right? You can put here as null. I think int will not take null, right? Here we created already age 2 or age 3. See, it's null. We no need to give that. It's an optional. You can put string name. So it's an optional. You can able to use it also, but it will throw. Let's check what it will throw. It's null basically. So now see, it will throw an error in the compile time itself. It might be null, not null, because if it is an optional, you might be having some default value. You got my point. Otherwise, you cannot print it. Here also the same way. If you want to give the default value, then you can give that string.empty. Got it? But that is not mandatory. But this will affect whenever we are calling from front end to the back end. Otherwise, it will omit that optional values. Nullable will be there. Even though if you create a method also, that you can create an optional public int add. I will do int a equal to 5 comma into b. You see here return a plus b. The thing is here, first main parameter will be there, then only optional parameters place. See, first parameter will be the main parameter. The next parameter will only be the optional parameter. All the optional parameters will be second. First, it should give the main parameters. Then optional parameters place will be there for any method. It is saying external I want to typecast because optional parameter might be null, so that you want to externally typecast that particular to the integer. Otherwise, it will say null pointer exception. Exception handling will be the next module. How to handle these errors, runtime errors. Now we have environment. So environment will get, so like which OS version you want to use or you are using, right? Everything will be there. Just control do console dot write line environment dot OS version. Okay. Environment dot mission name. It might take the username. It might take the username. What I think. Environment dot current directory also you can get. And environment dot process ID means the current process which is running, right? Console dot write line environment dot is 64-bit or not. 64-bit or 32-bit. You will check that. See, process ID is this one. Is 64 means is true. See, my desktop ID it got Windows NT 10.0. Windows 10. 10.0.22. See, we are in this current directory. .NET full stack training, .NET job guarantee 1, bin debug .NET 8.0. అదే కదా ఇక్కడ మనం ఇక్కడే కదా ఉన్నాం అది. So in this current directory, the current directory is that. ఎందుకంటే ఇది రన్ అయ్యేది bin లోనే. It will load from the bin file. DLL ఎక్కడి నుంచి లోడ్ అవుతుంది, bin file నుంచి లోడ్ అవుతుంది. So it is getting this particular current directory also. We have one more important thing where you can able to open the files as well using this process. So నేను ఏమి ఇస్తానంటే I will create process. Process P equal to new process. We are opening a process. మనం notepad open చేద్దాం, ఏది open చేద్దాం. We'll try to do. P dot start info dot file name file path ఏదో ఒకటి. So file path ఇద్దాం, ఓకేనా? So we will use this particular path. We will give the absolute path. Let's check downloads. I want to open what? I want to open something. So ఇది ఇద్దాం. So Java underscore module 7. Go to properties. I think we have this, right? C username / downloads. / what we have this name. I want to give this particular name, right? Dot PDF. ఇదే కదా? I think before that we'll do, first we'll do copy or create our path. Path equal to the same. We'll give here. Oh, one చాలు, 2 చాలు అనుకుంటా, because it should accept that, right? Fine, we got the path now. So తర్వాత ఏం చేద్దాం? We'll create the process start info object. Process start info object. 1 second, guys. Okay, so process start info అనుకుంటా. Process start info PSI equal to కొత్త ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేద్దాం. నో నీడ్ టు డూ దిస్ కాపీ. ఓకే, తర్వాత ఏం చేయాలి? We can able to give like this. సో దానికి వచ్చి ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఫైల్ పాత్. పాతే కదా మనం క్రియేట్ చేసింది. యూస్ షెల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అంటే కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయొచ్చా అంటే మనం అది అంటే ఏంటి షెల్ అంటే ఏంటి ఇట్స్ ఏ కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ విండోస్ కమాండ్ లైన్ దానికి మనం ట్రూ ఇవ్వాలి దెన్ ఓన్లీ ఇట్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఓకే దాని తర్వాత వాట్ వీ వాంట్ టు డూ విల్ క్రియేట్ ఎ ప్రాసెస్ వీ ఆల్రెడీ క్రియేటెడ్ ఎ ప్రాసెస్ హియర్ దెన్ వీ డూ నీడ్ టు డూ ప్రాసెస్ డాట్ స్టార్ట్ ఇన్ఫో ఈక్వల్ టు పిఎస్ఐ ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ మనం అసైన్ చేయాలి షెల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వాలి కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వాలి ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చేసి అంటే దీస్ ఆర్ ద టూ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాపర్టీ స్టార్ట్ ఇన్ఫో వాట్ ఇట్ కావాలంటే దీని ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్కి వెళ్ళండి మీకు తెలుస్తుంది దాని లోపల అవి ఉంటాయి ఫైల్ నేము ఓకే ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఐ సెండ్ దట్ దాని తర్వాత మనం ఏం చేయొచ్చు ఐ థింక్ ప్రాసెస్ డాట్ స్టార్ట్ పి డాట్ స్టార్ట్ చూద్దాం ఐ డోంట్ నో వెదర్ ఇట్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఆర్ నాట్ execute okay done okay so what we'll do now we will do any video ఏదైనా వీడియో ఉందా ఏదైనా ఇమేజ్ ఏదో ఒకటి సో లెట్స్ ట్రై టు mp4 డెమో సెషన్ .mp4 కదా సో let's go and check this .mp4 file every programming system in Java also we have this like of process this only process will try to open the files remember this one completed this is the process so this is the process of where you can able to open any process it's not like opening the file you want to create every time only the process will take the utilization of that okay are you getting my point everyone so go to break and come